this morning. We're live outside of a COVID-19 testing site in Southfield on Evergreen. Curbside testing takes place here, as a matter of fact. Now, some folks are perhaps sent here by contact tracers. However, contact tracers, they may hit one or two roadblocks when it comes to, number one, finding people who may have been exposed, and if and when those folks are located, getting them to cooperate, to answer questions, and to get tested. That can also be challenging.
The more delay we can get in getting the information, the more we are delayed in reaching out to everybody.
With the rise and continued prevalence of positive COVID-19 cases, state and local health officials say contact tracers are having an increasingly difficult time.
With several straight weeks of over 5,000 newly identified cases per day, this surge is surpassing our ability to perform timely outreach to all people who test positive.
Challenges that arise include following up with people who may have been exposed to the virus.
Depending on how active that person has been, whether you need to call 4 people or you need to call 20 people, the bigger the circle is, the more it puts a burden on following up with all those contacts. The second is when we call someone, and just like any of us, your first reaction, you see a unfamiliar number on your phone, your first reaction is not to answer it. So that means we have to call back or send a text message that says, "This is the health department, we're trying to reach you."
The CDC updated its quarantine recommendations for people exposed to the coronavirus. People who come in close contact with someone who tests positive should quarantine for 7 to 10 days. The current recommendation calls for a 14-day quarantine. It's also suggested that people can end their quarantine after 7 days if they receive a negative test result. But if you don't get tested, you should wait out the entire 10 days. As cases persist, contact tracers are at the ready.
We are expecting an uptake in the cases. And again, we are preparing for that both logistically and in preparedness and in everything that we're doing.
Now, if there is a possible exposure, officials say that it is ideal to start their investigation, as well as do contact tracing within that next 24 to 48 hours. Live in Southfield this morning, Darren Cunningham, 7 Action News.